Hey, what's going on, my brothers and sisters? Hope y'all been taking care of yourselves. Real quick, I just wanted to, it's Friday night. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of motivation, a little message here. It's funny, I just got out the gym. I ran into somebody that I used to work out with a few years back. And, we had a conversation that kind of reminded me a bit of the old times, but at the same time reminded me of who I was and where I was at that point in time when we were actually, like workout buddies, right? Now, I'm saying this to say, I remember with this guy, we used to have a lot of conversations, surrounded about, like women. And, we'd be in the gym working out and we see a girl that, looks good. We would always talk about it, right? And I'm sure y'all know what I mean. We would entertain the idea of, the lust, right? But, I noticed in our conversation, he was bringing up a lot of the, like I said, the types of conversations we would have, a few years back. And as I was having this conversation, I simply told him, hey, look, bro, I feel what you're saying, but, it's a distraction, right? It's not important, and when I told him that, I didn't exactly say those words, but I was feeding the idea that, hey, bro, I don't want to hear about it. This isn't what I'm really focused on at this point. His face almost lit up a bit, what do you mean? Right? And we went on to have a conversation, and I was just kind of telling him where, I was mentally and, how different basically thought patterns are now and thinking processes, right? And all of it, as I was having this conversation with him, all of it boiled down to distractions, right? When you are trying to level up and, be better for yourself, you have to eliminate your distractions, okay? Now, distractions can come in many forms, all right? Keep that in mind, right? For men, right, especially, well, I wouldn't even say young men. I would say all men, honestly, right? Even women, honestly. Lust, right? Lust is arguably one of the biggest distractions, right? It's that craving for lust that will get you, thinking about, fantasies and all types of stuff, right? All types of stuff that, again, is not important, is not real, right? But it's taking you away from the bigger picture. Gambling, right? Gambling is also a big distraction. Drugs, right? Unhealthy habits. These are all things that is pulling you away, right? It's draining you of your power. It's taking you away from your purpose, right? So when you're on this path of, greatness, and you're on this path of wanting to do better for yourself, you have to become aware of all of your distractions that are surrounding you, right? And I'm not saying to do a 180-degree turn and just simply, wake up and just, start, throwing away all these things, right? But the first step to change and the first step to actually getting better is acknowledging what distractions you're feeding, right? If you catch yourself every time you're in a gym, staring at a guy or staring at a girl, and you have these lustful thoughts, these lustful desires, that is a distraction, right? Because you're in a gym for what? You're in the gym to work out. You're in a gym to maybe, clear your mind, get a clearer headspace. That's the point of the gym, right? So that could easily be a distraction, okay? Drugs, right? Drinking alcohol, smoking weed, things even worse than that. It's all taking you away from your reality. It's all taking you away from your current situation, right? Now, if you're someone who is wanting to get better and you're someone who is wanting to improve your life, why are you going to continue to keep distracting yourself when it's not benefiting you in any way? Right? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question, right? Once you've acknowledged where you're, what distractions you're feeding into, and, you realize like what's actually benefiting you versus not, then at that point, it's on you to make the change, right? You have a choice. Everything in life is about choices. Okay? You have the choice to, in your free time, work on something productive, right? Or you have the choice to go play the video game, right? Or, you told yourself yesterday that, when I'm off of work today, I'm going to go, for a 30-minute run or a 30-minute jog, right? Are you going to go do that 30-minute run or jog, or are you going to go spend 30 minutes scrolling on your phone? Right? These are all distractions, okay? Well, not distractions, but these are all choices that you have to make. So if you're really committed to the process, if you are really committed to bettering yourself and you have goals and you want to do better, it starts with the little things, right? It starts with the little things. Acknowledge where you are, acknowledge where you need to do better, and make the right choice. That way you're actually stepping closer and moving closer to whatever your goal is. All right? That's all I have for you guys today. I hope that, like I said, you guys are taking care of yourselves. Be safe. It's a crazy world nowadays, full of distractions. Protect your energy, protect yourself, get connected to your high power, get clear about your goals, get clear about, your headspace. And until next time, y'all, I love you guys. And be safe out here, man. It's a cold world.